What in the heck am I doing? I have a glass jar with dirt in it. Don't you want to know? I've also promised some startling statistics today. So you are in the right place if your curiosity has been piqued. I'm going to share some data that I think is going to make you go, what? Are you kidding me? I know I'm still reeling from it a little bit. I put some of the numbers up above this video. So we're going to get to it. I promise. This video is all about beginning to explore the answer to this question. Is it possible to turn around a dead Facebook group? And more importantly than is it possible, is it worth the time and energy and effort that we're going to put into doing that? That's what we're talking about today. Okay, I'm here with my glass jar of dirt. I promise we're going to get to that. I promise. If you've seen this experiment before, we're going to do a little experiment today. I cannot wait. Okay, first of all, I want to start with some numbers. So be prepared to be like, what? Okay, so first of all, there are 10 million Facebook groups. Is anyone else surprised by that number? Like, that's a lot. I feel like that's a lot. That's a big number. 10 million Facebook groups. Here's an even bigger number. There are 1.8 billion with a B people in those Facebook groups. And that's double where it was 5 years ago. Okay, just stop and think about that for a second. So anybody out there that's saying Facebook groups are dead, Facebook's dying. No. In the last 5 years, it has doubled the number of people who are in Facebook groups. Crazy. Okay, but that's not even the crazy data. Here comes the crazy data. Only 100 million people who are in those Facebook groups say that the groups that they are in is meaningful. Very meaningful. Okay, let's just run through these again. I want to make sure you get these numbers. Okay, 10 million Facebook groups. Okay, 1.8 billion people in those groups. And only 100 million people say that it is very meaningful. Okay, that means we got a lot of groups that frankly suck. That was a shocking number to me. Here's the next shocker. This is the one that made me go, holy dog do. 95% of Facebook groups are inactive within 1 year. Guys, that's a big number. 95% of those Facebook groups are inactive within 1 year of being open. Staggering, right? What does that say to you? Like, how does this make you feel learning this data? Like, what are you thinking? I'm gonna pull up some comments and see what you all think. Yeah, damn is exactly right. Yeah, shocking, huge numbers. Agreed. Dawn says, what? Yep, exactly. By the way, if you are showing up here, let me show you. Let me pull one up that says Facebook user. Okay, Facebook user. That just means that you haven't given StreamYard access to pull your name from Facebook. So if you want to be able to show up like Dawn does with her face and her name, you got to go to, let me pull it up here. Hold on. You got to go to www.streamyard.com/Facebook. You should only have to click it once. And then every time you are on with me live, it will show your little name. Okay, so let's get back to this number. What else are you all thinking in there? You all are thinking that's because so many people are starting something and never finish it. Could be. Nicole says, whoa. Or is that like Joey? You remember the show? What was Blossom? Whoa. I know I can't do it like he did. Hopefully I'm not dating myself here. Okay, let's see what else you got to say. I think my group is in there. Yep. Mine was. My group was definitely in there. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Sherry brings up a really good point. Weekly groups that open and close in 1 week for a tutorial, or like pop-up groups. Yeah, could be that they never close or do anything with, but most of the time pop-up groups, you're pulling people out. So that's probably swaying your numbers a little bit, but you could absolutely be right. Okay, I don't think I missed any of your shocking data here. Okay, so let's go back to the point here. So knowing these numbers, oops, I'm stuck here on a up. technical challenges here. All right. Knowing this bit of data, does that mean we don't have any hope? Like 95%. Whoa, that's a big number. Does that mean there's no opportunity for us to turn our Facebook groups around? We should just pack it in, give up, and be done? No, of course it doesn't mean that. I'm going to answer that question for you. Okay. All right. Jeanette's asking to make sure we can see her. We can. You're there. Yep. Okay. What does this say? What this says is that the numbers may not be in our favor, right? It means that having a Facebook group that is very meaningful is going to take time and effort. It's not easy. It's not something anybody can do, or we wouldn't have this kind of data in front of us, right? It means that you're going to need some strategies. That's just likely not just luck. That it's likely not just if I build a group, it's going to be awesome. No, you're going to have to do some stuff. You're going to have to figure out how to make it awesome. All right, Dawn says, we can change it up. Absolutely, you can. I'm proof of that. If anybody's new to me, I know most of the names that I'm seeing there, I know all of y'all, and you all know me, but we do have some new members in this group. My name is Jamie Hain, and I am a video and growth coach. We are spending, this is the fourth in a 4-part series, all on Facebook groups. So when we talk about going live and being on camera, we're talking about how do you do that in your Facebook group, and how do you make it a Facebook group that is the one of your dreams. That's what we're all talking about here today. So I will share, I think I've shared this before. My Facebook group, not all that long ago, was dead. It was in this statistic. It was completely inactive. I was in that 95%, and I could have given up, and I could have just walked away from it. I could have shut it down, could have closed it all up, but I didn't. I went all in, just like Dawn said. And I said, you know what? I can do this. I can figure this out. And it was a lot of trial and error, but I figured it out. And now I help other people figure that out too. So if this speaks to you and you're like, yes, I need to do this, I want to learn, then come and join Ignite. We are starting next week. Enrollment is open until Sunday. This is not a video on Ignite, so I'm not going to let myself go off on a tangent, but I'm wanting to make sure that you know that there is help and that it is possible. So the answer to the question, back to the whole, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. We're going to explore, is it worth it? Is the time investment worth it? And what are the factors and things you have to consider before you make this decision? This is one of these calls where it's the decision kind of call. That's the objective, is you deciding. And I'm going to ask you at the end what decision you're going to make for yourself. Because it's perfectly acceptable to say, this is too hard, this is too much work. I'm out. I'm going to stay in the 95%. But if you want to be in the 5% and have a whole lot of fun, like I'm having, in a group that is definitely very meaningful, then stick around. All right. So let's see. Where do we want to go? Let's do our experiment. Okay. Okay. I got to get my supplies. Hang with me here. I got to get my supplies. I should be doing this over a sink, but I'm doing it over a big old bowl instead. All right. So what I have in front of me here, let me move this guy so you can see easier. Okay. I have a clear glass of water. It's not magical water. It's no trickery. I just literally from my bathroom poured water into this clear glass. Okay. Everybody, you can see that clear glass. Yes. All right. Now what I have is a jar of dirt. So if anybody's a Pirates of the Caribbean fan, this is my jar of dirt. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I need both hands here, is I'm scooping dirt into this in here. Let's make it really dirty, shall we? Let's see here. I'm thinking 3 is my favorite number, so let's do 3 scoops here, okay? Now I'm going to stir this up. What do I got here? I now got dirty, gross water. Yes? Okay. I probably need more dirt. Let's put more in. We need more in. Let's get really dirty. Okay. You didn't think you'd be playing with dirt here today, did you? Okay. Now, in this scenario, this is your group. Not active, dead, dirty, yucky, not a place you're wanting to hang out. Yeah? Okay. So if I want to clean this up, I want to turn this around, I can take my little spoon and I can say, okay, I'm gonna clean out this dirt. Clean it out. How long is this going to take me? Clean out this dirt. Now, it might be easy at first because I can get some big chunks out, right? But I'm going to get up to the point where I've got water, or I've got that dirt dissolved into that water. How am I going to get all that out? How long is it going to take me to make that clean, to make it clear again? Days? Weeks? Months? Maybe never? Okay. So let's say I've been here with you with yours truly, and you've been learning some tips. And so you got some new optimism here. And you say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna apply some of these things that Jamie says. I'm gonna apply some of these things. Uh-oh. Got dirtier. Uh-oh. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep pouring. I'm gonna keep trying these things. I'm gonna keep trying these things. Okay. Oh, it's getting a little bit clearer. Just a little bit. And I'm optimistic now, right? But it's still dirty. So then what happens? I give up. And I think, well, that didn't work. I applied the things Jamie told me. I got a little bit clearer, but still dirty water. Here's what you need to do. You need a whole new strategy. Okay? If I take this and I pour this in, look what happens. I'm clear. Within seconds. What is the moral of the story? I have water all over here, y'all. I got water everywhere. Okay, so I got to move this so that I don't make a bigger mess. I want to know from you, lesson from this story. What ahas are you having from this dirty water experiment? Okay, let's see what y'all got. Mud mask. Yes, mud mask. Makes me feel queasy, that dirty water. Yes, and it's going to take forever to pull it up, to get it clean again, right? You'd have to sit with it for a long, long while. Yeah, you'd have to let that dirt sit to the bottom and float to the bottom, but it's still in there, right? You saw when I added more water, it just fired it all up. That same dirtiness, okay? Clear as mud. You got it, okay? Dawn's loving the experiment. That was pretty fun, yes. Okay, Jeanette says it's awesome. Love it. A whole new strategy, right? You need to completely shock the system. Like, think about it like anybody who has had pools, swimming pools. My husband used to do pools. If it gets dirty, your only choice is to shock the whole thing or empty it and start over. That's the only choice that you have, right? Okay. No, Emily, I'm not taking a sip. Ooh. Sherry says it's holy water. One would think, right? I didn't do anything but pour more water in. You all saw me. I know I forgot to keep my glass up, so you didn't see, but I promise there's no trickery in here. Dawn says, change it up and take a whole new journey. Yep, that's exactly right. Emily says, we can clean up our Facebook groups with a whole new strategy. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Okay. Because there are some serious call outs we gotta talk about, right? Okay. Keep pouring into it and it will take off with the right tools and strategy. Bingo. I don't know who this is, but you are right on. You are right on. I got to move these glasses out of the way or you know what's going to happen is I'm going to end up kicking this and then I have water everywhere. I did not think this part through. Oh, hold on. I'm still here. Okay. Just trying to not make a mess. All right. You've heard the saying, the best defense is a good offense, or the best offense is a good defense. I can't remember how it goes. I like sports, but I love cliches. I just always get them backwards. The point is that rather than spending time digging out the dirt in your group, just flood it with new. Flood it with new people. Flood it with new content. Flood it with new strategies. That's your best game plan. Now, the question really becomes, but what about the people in the group? Can they be turned around? We're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about that, okay? So the answer to the question is yes, you can turn all of this out, but turn this all around. But here's the call out, okay? If I flood that with new stuff and I get new members in and I flood it with new content, but I go back to all my old behaviors, what's going to happen over time? If my behaviors as the host or the owner of this group need to be changed in order to have long-term success, okay? I see it all the time. I get a little blip, it gets a little bit better, but then I get away from the practices and the strategies and the things that got me there, and then I'm right back where I started. I don't want that to happen to you, okay? So I want to spend some time talking about this. Yep, Dawn says, it's going to be sucky. Emily says nothing will change. It might change temporarily, but it's not going to change in the long term, okay? All right, so let's talk about whether or not it's worth the time to get those existing members back. It depends. That's the honest answer. It depends on a number of different things. So I want to kind of go through some things that I want you to consider, some facts to consider, if you will. So what does it depend on? It depends on whether or not you got the right people into your group. So that glass of dirty water, were they still the right people? I know oftentimes we pivot and we go to something else and we think, oh, but what about the people that I got in who thought they were joining for this reason, but now I'm doing something else? That's a factor you got to consider. If you were just accepting anybody in because you were like, people, I'm going to let everybody in, and you weren't being specific in terms of who was coming in, then it's not going to help, right? It's not going to be worth going after those old members. I'm not saying you got to go through the effort of kicking them out because nobody's got time for that. Nobody's got time for that. I would rather you spend your time and focus on other things. Okay. Now, here's what I will say. If you have somebody in your group that's causing problems, that is engaging in a not good way, you got to get that dirt out. Okay. That we're not talking about that. We're talking about like some of these examples you all are giving here, right? Old niche or group has an old niche. Okay. I had a whole promo thing going on. Yep. That it can happen. Is it worth kicking all of them out? Likely not. Likely not the time, but you're going to have to consider that for sure. Okay. So you got to think, the people that are in there, are they even close to what I'm doing now? Here's the one thing that I will consider as you are starting to market and get people to come into your group, new people. Do I want to join a group that's at 5 or 10? No. Do I want a group that's at 100, 200? That looks better, even if they're the wrong people. So not that I want you to go after numbers for a vanity metric, but there is some psychology behind that. So having a few numbers, having some of those numbers is worth it to just keep going. Okay. It's like, do I want to go up to a party where there's nobody at? No, I want to go to a party where at least some people. So give that some consideration. Okay. The second thing you have to think about, especially when we're talking about turning around the people that you already have, is it's going to take a lot of time and effort. And is the return on your investment for that time and effort going to be there? I would say likely not. I think your time is better spent on implementing new strategies and going after new people and flooding it with new water. That's going to make a bigger difference, in my opinion. Okay. The last thing that I want you to consider, and this is the one that's probably the most important. What happened? What happened to get it to this state? Now, I will tell you, when this was me and I had to have this conversation with myself, I was full of excuses. I was the one saying, I got all the wrong people. I got all these people and they got no money. I got all these people and nobody wants to share their stories. It's Facebook's fault. Facebook's dying. Facebook sucks. The algorithm is killing me. I was full of all of those excuses. And they're excuses. Because I am living proof. I have clients who are living proof that this can be turned around. Those are just excuses. So you've got to look inside. You've got to look at yourself and you've got to say, what am I doing or was I doing that contributed to get my group to hear it in the first place? Was I not being consistent? What is my content? Was I being lazy with my content? Did I not have clarity in what I was trying to do for my group and what my group would do for people, the people in it? Because those three things are a surefire way that if you don't make changes to them, you're going to be in the same situation 6 months from now. Even if you get a few more people in, even if you get a little blip, you're going to be right back there if you don't change those core behaviors. Okay. Now, I want to talk a minute about the algorithm because the algorithm is real. I know there's lots of people out there that say, screw the algorithm. They want to pretend the algorithm isn't there. They want to blame the algorithm. But the reality is there is an algorithm. Okay. So when you start looking at this and you start saying, okay, I'm going to flood my group. I'm just going to add more people, lots more people. I'm going to just add more content and post more. If your audience is not commenting on your current posts, more posts are not going to move the needle. It's not going to change anything because they're not seeing those posts. There is an algorithm even inside your group. So when you sit there and you think, I'm just going to pull a number. I got 200 people in my group and nobody sees my content. Yep. They don't see it. It's not that they're not commenting. It's that they're not even seeing it. It's not even showing up in their feed because it's been so inactive for so long. And the content likely didn't resonate with them at some point. The algorithm doesn't know, oh, I've got better content all of a sudden. It won't know that. So you got to work on those fundamental core strategy issues that are at work here. Okay. Um, one of the things that you can do is change up your posts, add a little fun into your group. But here's what you have to be careful of, right? Because you can go in and honestly, this is something that I teach inside of Ignite Your Facebook group. And that is do some fun color block posts. And yes, I'm talking about color block posts. If you don't know what a color block post is, I showed this last time, but just in case we got some new people that are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, that's a color block post. Color block with text in it. Sometimes they're questions, sometimes they're statements, sometimes they've got, these are hot right now, okay? So you can do some color block posts and you can have some fun. You can ask questions like brownies or cookies, burritos or tacos, and you're gonna get people that are gonna comment. But if you don't change your core content, you're gonna end up with a group that engages just to engage, and it doesn't actually help you as a business. So there's a strategy in there. There's a strategy behind when am I posting these kinds of color block posts so that they also see my other content, which also has to be awesome. It has to be something that people want. It has to actually add value and drive a journey that you take your people on. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about strategy. Okay. All right. Any questions about this so far? Let me see if I've missed anything. Let me check comments here quick. Hang on here. Let me make sure. Okay, Dawn says this gives us hope. Yes, it's possible. It's all about turning it around. Sherry says it's about them and not about you. Yes. Okay. Oftentimes what she's talking about here is oftentimes when I go and do like a Facebook audit, what I see is there's a lot of telling going on inside that Facebook group. Me as the expert, I'm telling you stuff. I'm not asking. I'm not inviting. I'm not encouraging community. I'm not encouraging people to share. So that's another thing that you got to check on yourself. Am I balancing that? Right? We talked about that on a previous video. By the way, I'm going to do a recap. It's probably going to go out Monday where I'm going to recap. Actually, you know what? Why don't I just make it this Saturday's newsletter? That's what I'm going to do. I'll recap all of the videos that have been part of this series. So if you're on my mailing list and you're getting the rewind fast forward report every Saturday, I'm going to get you, the recap's going to be in that. Okay. If you're not on my mailing list or you've been ignoring that newsletter, this is when you're going to want to watch a Saturday. There was a previous call where I talked about, no, I just lost my train of thought. See, that's what happens when you go on a tangent. Remember what I was talking about. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me, or one of you will remind me. Hey, it happens. I am on day 3 of a migraine. And so I am medicated, and this is the kind of stuff that happens. I mean, it happens all the time to me anyway, but like for real, this is a real block. Okay, we were talking about the balance between, that's what it was. Okay. On a previous call, I talked about, as the host in a group, as the owner of a group, you've got to balance with building community and building engagement, and also showing up as the expert that you are. If you got too much of one or too much of the other, then that's what gets tricky. That's what may be causing you some problems. And that's what Sherry's talking about. If you are in there and you are just telling, and it's all about you, you got to pull that back a little bit, and you need to create a little bit more community, a little bit more engagement. Okay, another question. How do you get the algorithm to show stuff so someone can comment like? Okay. If this is a Facebook group that has been dead for a while, this is really hard to get going. You got to look at all sorts of different ways to re-engage them. Do you have their email address? Can you email them? If you go on a path where you are doing some fun color block posts, they may respond to the color block post that says, do you like tacos or burritos? And then as a result, they see your other content in the afternoon. That's how the algorithm works. But that takes time. It is not overnight. So back to what I said earlier, the best solution for this is adding new people, having a new strategy, and making sure that your content is irresistible. So that the new people who are joining see your content and are like, boom, I love this place. This is exactly what I want. This is helping me so much. And I know clearly where I'm going because I know the strategy. I know the journey that I'm taking people on. Okay. It's kind of like this question is like, here's another cliche. Let's see if I get this one right. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Yes. So if I'm putting content out and nobody's commenting, you might have a content problem. Okay. It could be, what is the content that you are putting out there? Is it a whole lot of graphics? Are they always the same graphics? That could be part of the problem. There could be so many different variables in here. It's really hard for me to say, but hopefully that gives you some things to go and look at. Your newsletter rocks. Thank you. If anybody's not on my email list and you want to be on this email list, I'll tell you, this week with the whole Facebook being down, great call out to everybody to make sure you're getting people on your email list, right? Because I could continue. We had conversations via email about stuff. So if you want that list, let me know. I'm gonna put you on there. Okay. I do not see any other questions. So let me say this. The decision that you have at this point is to decide whether or not, let me pull up my number here again. Are you going to be in this 95% of Facebook groups that go inactive in the first year? You might already be in that statistic. And you can look at that and say, you know what? I don't want to put in the time and effort. That's a choice. That's a choice you can make. Lots of people make that choice, or this number wouldn't be that high. Or you can say, no, I want to be in the 5% of Facebook groups that are thriving, that are doubling in size, tripling in engagement, quadrupling in sales, because that's what I've done in my Facebook group. I was talking with somebody last night on Messenger. She did Ignite last time, and she just recently re-pulled her engagement numbers, and they're up 600%. 600%. She went from dead to 600% engagement in a matter of months. So it is possible. Is it easy? No. I'm not going to sit here and promise to any of you that it can be done in a half an hour a week. It's not that it can't be. It takes some time and energy and effort. So if you're willing to put in the time and energy and effort, I'm willing to teach you how to do all of these things. It is absolutely possible to be in there. It's your choice. It's your choice on whether or not you want to turn it around. It's your decision. But it takes some work. It takes you doing a hard assessment at what got you here in the first place. And it takes a willingness to make changes. It takes a willingness to make changes. So my ask of all of you today is, what's going to be your decision? Okay. Dawn already says, I'm going to be in the 5%. Rock on, Dawn. Let's do it. How about the rest of you? Do you want a group that actually converts, drives revenue, makes you money, and is actually fun to be in? I love my group. I love spending time in my group. I don't want to spend time anywhere else because this group is so awesome. And that's because you're all in here. You're all super active, engaged, and I freaking love it. And you can have the same thing. All right. Before I wrap us up, if there are any other questions that you all have, drop them now because I've got some time. I'll take them. I want to just do a quick sidestep and talk about what's planned in March. I'm going to go live probably next week and talk about what's coming in March, but I want to give you just a sneak peek. I did a post on some of the videos that we have planned. I go live every Thursday at the same time, 11 Mountain Time. And there are some really awesome topics coming up in March. I'm super excited about it. We're going to talk about why graphics are hurting you, why you're spending all that time in Canva and why it's hurting you. We're going to talk about, oh my gosh, I just went blank. Let me pull it up. See, migraine medicine. I'm telling you, it's really messing with me. It's really a problem. I was going to cancel, but then I decided that was not a good idea. Okay, here we go. I got my list. So I did a post. Looks like that. Okay, March 7th, that's today. Next week, we're talking about why your daily themed posts are killing your Facebook group. So this is Motivation Monday and Tip Tuesday and Welcome Wednesday and whatever. Why they're killing your Facebook group. That's next week. On the 21st, we are talking about stop creating all those graphics in Canva and why. So good. And then 28th, we're going to talk about why you should put Facebook Lives at the center of your strategy, your social media strategy. So good topics coming up in March. I'm super excited about it. Okay. Let's see what else we got for questions here. Sherry says, oh, yay. Yes, come join us for Ignite. Make it easier on yourself. While this is up, I will say that enrollment is going to be open through Sunday. We start on Tuesday, and I want to give you Monday because there is pre-work. There's a video and a workbook that you need to watch prior to our first call, which is on Tuesday. So I'm going to do enrollments will be open until end of day Sunday. So midnight on Sunday, and then we're going to cap it off. Okay. I want to also say this. Do I want to share this? I'm going to share this. Why not? I recently had somebody reach out to me and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing Ignite," and they had some questions. But what they shared, this is the important part. They said, "I was gonna sign up for Ignite the last time you offered it. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were even thinking about joining." Okay. So I was gonna sign up for Ignite the last time around. And I just decided that I just didn't have the money, or I didn't want to make the payments, or I wasn't sure it was going to help me. Or, and I think she said the other thing was, oh, time. I just wasn't sure I had the time. And so I didn't. And I'm now kicking myself for not having joined then. Because as I'm watching all of these people go live in your group this week and talk about the results that they've gotten, I'm kicking myself for not having joined. I don't want that to be you. Okay. So if you're on the fence, like Sherry says, and you are thinking about whether I want to do this or not do this, and you've got any of those objections in your head, it's too much money. I can't afford it. I don't know that it's really going to help me. My group is different. It's a Facebook whatever those excuses are, reach out and let's talk about it. Because I don't want you to be this person who said 6 months now has gone by, and now I'm recognizing if I only started then, where would I be now? If I'd only started then, where would I be now? I don't want that to be you. Okay. Now I have had a couple people say, like, I have a full-time job. I literally can't do it until the summer because I for whatever timing, whatever else. Know that if you tell me that, I'm going to lock you in at the price point. I don't know if the price is going to go up by then or not. I haven't made that decision, but regardless, I'm going to lock you in. If you just let me know, I'm going to do it in the summer. But I want to just tell you that's 3 months from now. Think about the impact you can have in 3 months. Speaking of Sherry, I'm going to put her on the spot here. She pulled her numbers recently. I think this was, I'm trying to remember if it was last month or this month. And she was up like, what wasn't it? 1,900% your engagement was up since you started Ignite. 1,900%. Y'all, that's huge. And that's just in 6 months. Okay. I'm on a tangent. I recognize that. Let's rein it in, Jamie. Okay, let's see here. Jeanette says, I'm going to be in the fantastic 5%. Yeah. Michelle says, yes, 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 yes. I love it. I love it. Yes. Kudos to Sherry, for sure. Yep. Yep. Wow, Sherry. Lots of wows for you. I love it. Okay. Since there are no more questions, I'm going to wrap us up here. We can choose to focus on that 95% and say, well, the odds are not in my favor. It's 95% of Facebook groups are inactive in the first year. Mine is already inactive. I might as well just give up and go home. You can choose to focus on that. Or you can focus and say, but there are 5% that are freaking thriving. Turnaround is possible. I know it's possible because I've done it and I've helped other people do it. And while I'm saying that, I just want a huge shout out to everybody who was part of Ignite the last time, who has signed up for Ignite this time, and is going live this week and sharing and being vulnerable. Like, can we just give them a round of applause? Because it takes a lot to go live and say, okay, my Facebook group sucks. I'm in the 95% right now. It's dead. That takes guts. And it takes vulnerability that honestly should inspire each and every one of us. Because what that says is, okay, this is where I'm at right now, but I know where I'm going. I'm going to be in that 5%. I'm going to learn these things. Okay. So I want to take a second here, and I want to say thank you to everybody who has done a spotlight this week. Past members of Ignite, people who are signed up for Ignite this round. Every single person said, "I'll go live. I want to talk about it. You can feature me." And I don't know about you all, but I have been blown away by some of the stuff that they're sharing. It's mind-boggling, the results that they've gotten. And it's also commendable that they're ready to take action and get after this. So big call out. Thank you. If you've missed any of them, there is a guide in this group where I'm going to put them all. I think it's called, I've made it the first guide in the guides. I think it says Ignite Spotlights. And yeah, go through them. We've got more coming today, more coming tomorrow, more coming through the weekend. Remember, it closes on Sunday, so you got to get after it. Okay. I'm on a tangent, aren't I? Jamie, can you drop the Ignite link again? I don't have it up. And I didn't put it in the description, but how about I will get it to you? How's that? I will get it to you, Dawn, and I'll get it to everybody else too. What I would tell you is this: let's do this just so that it's cleaner. If anybody else wants the link, if you would just comment Ignite in the comments, I will DM you the link so that you've got it. It's just the link to learn more. There's a great video on there. You can learn more about it. There's no commitment. But if you want to take a peek at it, that way I make sure everybody who wants it gets it. Okay. I was wrapping us up, and then I went on for like 5 minutes. I was talking with Sherry earlier. She was checking in on me. She's so sweet. She was checking in on me with this silly migraine. And she's like, "Are you taking your meds or you're not taking your meds?" Because she was like, "If you're taking your meds, I want to be on your live because you're going to be funny when you take your meds." It can be comical, yes, because sometimes I get a little tongue tied, and sometimes my brain doesn't cooperate exactly right. But it is what it is. Anybody who has migraines, you know what it's like. All right, so let's get back to my focus and wrapping us up here. Whoa. Turnaround is possible. That's what I was saying. I've done it. I've helped other people achieve the same thing. It takes strategy. It takes a whole new strategy into your system. You need to be ready to work. You need to be excited about having some fun. You need to be ready to make changes. You need to be open to some of the things that I'm gonna suggest that you do. But here's what's most important. Here's what you're gonna find inside of Ignite is that I'm gonna work with you where you are. You're never gonna hear me say, you must do this thing. I'm gonna give you options. I'm gonna tell you the pros and cons, and I'm gonna help you work through whatever's getting in your way. But you get to decide what you want to do. This is your group. This is not make a clone of Jamie's group. This is you got to do your group your way. And Ignite is about giving you all of the tools that you need to figure that out. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do right now. I got an idea. It just came to me. Again, you get the benefit of me being medicated. How about, and I'll give this to everybody who's already signed up. Okay. First of all, if you get to retake it. So if you are doing Ignite this time around and then you want to join us again in the summer, you don't pay. Okay. Everybody gets to take it again once for free. But everybody who is signed up for this round of Ignite, I'm going to give you a free Facebook audit. Now, I will tell you, I would encourage you to wait until you get through Ignite. Because if I do it now, all I'm going to tell you is all of the things you already know. So I'm going to tell you, push it until you're at least halfway through, or maybe even at the end, or heck, even a month after, and say, now come look at it after I've implemented all of this stuff. And I'm going to fine tune and see what we can do to give it a little bit more oomph. Okay. So if you sign up by Sunday, you get a free Facebook audit, group audit. How's that sound? Okay. I really hope that you will join us. If not, if this is not the right time, I get it. Make sure you're on the wait list for the future time. Apply everything that you've learned from me this month. We've spent all month on Facebook groups. There are a lot of nuggets that are going to get you started. Just remember, it's going to give you a bump, and that may be good for now, but you need a whole new strategy. Don't lose sight of that. All right. If you start now, just think about where you're going to be 3 months from now. Think about where you're going to be 6 months from now. Think about where you're going to be a year from now. Don't wait. Don't put it off. If you want to do it, come and do it with us. I would love to have you. I would love to work with you in this way. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for humoring me as I did my little experiment. Thank you for humoring me as I am working through a little bit of migraine pain stuff. You're the best. I am so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you in this group. I am appreciative of your participation, your love, all of those great things. Thank you for being here. See you next time. Bye, guys.